Well, tonight at my new clients, they were out there harassing me. Now, I had found out Will at the FBI in Canton is retired. They lie that Will and the boys did this to me. It's undercover police in Ravenna, working for that Judge Pete, his daughter Michelle. For it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna when she was having a stomach spell. It's for my daughter they did all this for. And our family watching her doing this. And for who's Karen's rich boyfriend, but the state of Ohio who protects her. Mocking me because they're getting paid to protect me, and it's them doing it. Memorial Day weekend 2019 food counter at Walmart 62. Okay? It's his daughter Michelle, the young blonde girl. They lied that they were agents stationed at the courthouse, following me around. Okay? Now, they were outside my new clients, that weird Eric that's stalking me. Somebody off in the dark, Eric, blah, 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 blah. Will and the boys told everybody around here not to believe her. The Ravenna police need to go back to Ravenna, and they're nothing but rapists, druggers, and framers. Yeah. Now, I got home, some lady, well, off in the dark. She didn't call anybody on the gunshot night. She don't get no what, nothing. Stop lying. Um, I wondered if the gunshot night wasn't a mean stunt. Some guy had even mentioned it up there that he was trying to figure out how they did it. And he almost thought they had sound effects in the house because it was echoing in my head and to the point I had to cover my ears. Um, Will created, I found out February 7th, 22, where they run around blaming Will for everything. Some guy was outside AutoZone right next to Giant Eagle in Louisville before noon. Uh, they said Will did this to him. They said Will did very little with this case and he left it on his desk. And I'm like, oh my God, that's why. They got away with it. Thought if he listed me informant, no man's to ever touch me, put me in protected custody, let the police handle the stalkers in the store, and they'll keep an eye on them. Not knowing it was the undercover police doing it for the judge's daughter and helping out. Okay, the gunshot night. Now, I had already almost been shot in the head driving. I had a slam, tuck, and swerve. They argue in Walmart 62. They had to leave me in hard danger. The guy running it wouldn't let him pull me out and find out it was that judge. Okay? Um, and I had six stalkers coming at me. 12/21/18. I literally go to the refrigerator. Someone stabs me in the neck and I'm abducted. I wake up 6 hours later in bed with a dent in my skull. I have hair missing another man's comb on the dresser. And Dave gets home and I got marks on me and I don't know what happened. Now, Dave had beat me with internal injuries for not answering my phone after I almost got shot driving. Um, I didn't want him to know when I was out because I was safe if he didn't know where I was. Um, so I stopped answering my phone. Okay. Um, um, I was losing 5 to 7 pounds a week up there. They were stabbing me with needles, lying in Walmart. They had sodium pentothal reports in front of people, tape and audio. Okay. Um, they were using amnesia drugs to frame me and found out that they were illegally surveillancing me before altering tapes and drugging me and telling me to say something stupid. And I have never been questioned or accused with Miranda rights by no officer, no agent, no man, no lady, no attorney. Okay? We'll leave it that way. I had bruises and I got sick when Dave touched my drinks. Okay. Now I have all this going on and I'm dizzy, I'm sick, and it's almost Christmas and I need Dave to go get treats for dinner. Okay. For Christmas dinner. And he acting weird. He won't leave. And I knew he was up to something. I've already had a direct attempt on my life. And this stalkers are showing up. So he goes, I live 10.6 miles out of town in the middle of a giant woods in the middle of farmland. There's not even street lights. You can't see past the porches. It's like black soup out there. Okay. And he's at Walmart looking at cookies and he's video chatting with me. And all of a sudden his phone starts clicking like somebody's calling in. And I hear gunfire. Well, my house is bugged like it is here. And the people that watch me, the men that watch me from that courthouse, would walk by and say stuff what they hear in the house all the time and where they even see me in the house, okay? So I start looking out the window. I lived at 4490 John Thomas and outside Ravenna. I only had a Ravenna mailing address, but I lived in Primera Township. I lived 2 townships away. Okay, I Diamond, Ohio, delivered my mail. We had our own grade school, high school, middle school, and own fire department. Actually, if you Google Primera Township's police department's Milton. Milton and Craig's Beach was closer. It was 17 minutes to the police station if you went to Ravenna, and the other ones were within 6 to 8 minutes. Okay? I was 2 townships away. All right, so I look out on the house after mine is a duplex. There's an old lady always left their light on. Well, I look out and the light's on. He says something crazy, stupid, and I look back and the light's off, and I say it. And I know those guys can hear me because they say stuff in Walmart all the time. And that I need to call the police, that I heard gunfire. Don't you get off this phone. I look out front. There's a green laser light crossing my eyes. I duck. I look out back. Lights are crossing. And I'm surrounded. And I take him off video chatting. And I keep saying it. I know they can hear me. Okay? And I load a 9mm gun and several clips. I look out front again. The green laser light crosses my eyes. And I duck. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm actually really surrounded. This is happening right outside. I look out back. Lights are crossing. Okay? Now, I pacing around, I'm thinking what to do. If I get my car, I take off driving, they'll shoot me. If I run to the house before mine, there was a male nurse that lived there. They'll shoot me. They're right out back. Where to hide? Waiting for the guys to show up because they hear me all the time. They say stuff around me at Walmart. Okay? And I'm thinking my brother-in-law that worked at the Pentagon, well, monitor's a monitor. The government sees you through the TV. I thought, I know they hear me. I blah, 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 blah. I even turned on the TV and sat on the position between the 2 doors where they couldn't shoot me. And as he's rambling with a 9 between my knees, the second set of gunfire goes off and it's exploding in my head. Okay? And I throw that phone and I start praying for help, rivers of tears. And for anybody that's in trouble, and for myself. And as I pray, it always seemed like moonlight broke through, like God heard me. But I bet it was headlights. Okay? And then it went dark. Because why would moonlight break through? You know what I mean? Headlights would fill up. Okay? And then you could hear Dave outside. You went to the wrong house. We know she's nothing but target practice. She's up to something. We've seen her through a monitor. He said that figures. Next time we'll come up and kill her and we'll take care of it once and for all. We shot a man that was sleeping where it took us several minutes to find him. Where we finished him off in a back room. We knew he liked her and wanted to meet her when this was over. And we shot a man in the head that was running. We're going to say a neighbor did it by mistake. And I'm paralyzed with fear on the floor. And I could barely get up. And I got in bed. Don't think nobody showed up. My God, they said they killed people outside. Well, the next day I get up and we get in this big fight at daylight. Not daylight, but right when we first get up and first thing in the morning. And I hit that wall and I'm running through the backwoods from him because I'm scared to death. And out of the male nurse's house, the house before mine, a white man with black hair and a long black beard tried to grab me. Dave's running after me. You have an affair. I turn around. I said I'd never seen him before in life, and he runs back in his house. And Dave passes me and says I have to check the trail cameras to find out how he made it out in the dark. He took off running where the lights were crossing when he wasn't home, and I picked up a stick and started swearing. Now there was men on the other side of the duplex that would follow me around that never came back. And within a few weeks, they had a big fire as big as an ambulance and burned everything. Now, the men walked around me that would watch me as they broke through the doors. They scattered. One ran by the house to grab me. And as he ran by the house to grab me, they realized they went to the wrong house and they surrounded mine. They chased him through the backwoods, shooting at him, till he made it to the neighbors to call the police, and sirens in the distance. The other man said he was hiding behind the fence and witnessed Dave with the men with the guns, and the guy I described was up there. And two other men said they seen him too. Now, one man up there came up to me and said it was a mean stunt, that he couldn't figure out how they did it, that they actually thought they had sound effects in the house. Okay. Now, they were right after that at Wood Forest inside Walmart 62. There was a white man with gray hair and mustache and a group of them. You know how stupid you looked sitting on the floor? Okay. Mocking me. By March of 19, there is 2 African American undercover officers stationed in that courthouse with dreadlocks. Okay, I've seen them walk out of there, and I've seen them follow me around. There's a self-pay register by the fruit counter, and then there's a long self-pay register. They're at the long one. We stayed out of the gunshot night because Dave's girlfriend's prettier, and the guy running it didn't blame us. Okay, so I'm thinking it's a mean stunt, but regardless, he killed people. He's trying to kill Dixie and the baby and Joshy and me. Okay, I hate him. If he actually killed those people, I hate him. You went too far. You've beyond forgivable already. But then thinking, that guy said it was a mean stunt. Okay. Well, an Asian lady showed up at Meskers Park in April 19 with a little boy. Can we have Karen now? The men aren't done with her after what happened to Daddy. Well, they said they killed people outside. So I'm a good person, and I thought, God, it wasn't just a mean stunt. So I went and got a prepaid phone. And Dave had told her there was gunfire. They went to the wrong house, and I was target practice, witnessing that, and then Terry of the attempted kidnapping, and video statements of everything that happened. And I was going to have my attorney, Seth Arco, on, it's either Cleveland or Market Avenue, take it to the FBI building. Well, the undercover police are swarming me. Going down there, there's a guy that looks like Henry Moffey from the internet. Been following me around for 3 years. He's swarming me. Okay. I go in and I'm talking to Seth, and I'm like, Seth, I got a package. I need you to deliver it. He said, what's in it? And I said, I can't really say. He said, Karen, I don't deliver those kind of packages. I'm not a moose. And he's like, does it have something to do with your husband? And I'm like, maybe, and I can see those vehicles swarm. And he said, Karen, you got this big secret. You won't tell anybody. Be a martyr. Be a victim. Don't tell anybody. First, I know your husband, and he nailed it. And I'm like, Seth, you have a good day. And I'm thinking, dear God, if they really killed those people, and they've tried to kill my son's family and me, God of heaven, I can't tell them, they'll kill him too. So I go home and I'm thinking how to get that package, because if I mail it, what if they grab it? What if they grab it? So I Thought I'll wait a little longer. 1239 North Chapel. Now my apartment's booked. There's that undercover officer telling everybody he's an agent, with the other one stationed in the courthouse. We're agents, we're stationed at the courthouse, blah, blah, and walk around telling people that, okay? He's outside with a lady. You can't beat a single woman by herself. We can't have her state what happened up there. Well, I ended up with arms above my head, smothered with a pillow. The stalkers between March and April 19. South Bay registered by the food counter. The guy that smothered me is a stalker. White with black stubbly hair, dark eyes, sloppy pants. Another man gets him out of my face. Okay. And matter of fact, the one guy yelled at him, "Knock it off! I mean, knock it off! None of this is funny. What's going on?" He's like yelling at him, and while I take off running, he gets him out of my face and let him handle him. He's the one mothering me. See, I don't do well. I got tortured that night, and the officer is punching me in my private area, punching me up my side. Fourth time I come up for air, I pass out. Okay, and there's an old fat white man at the end of the bed. When I came to, they set her up. If she don't state it, do it to her again. They pour something in my mouth, and my arms go straight down. I'm losing consciousness. Say this, no. Say this, no. And they're hitting me, and they're smothering me and punching me in my private area till I said whatever they wanted, and I passed out. Now, I have post-traumatic syndrome from that place. I went into complete shock. I got up, and it was like a robot. I had bruises on my face, fingerprints up and down my arms. My private area was 3 times bigger than normal. I had been raped and tortured. I got cleaned up when I looked at my bed, thinking I gotta wash my blankets. They raped me. And I grabbed him and I went down to the laundromat. Instead of saying, "My God, honey, we need to get you to a hospital," you know what they said? "Stupid bitches." Taped Gullich for hours. She woke up with bruises. Nobody knows why. I'm like, shut up. I see that idiot Macy's. I'm scared of death of him. I leave and I go on to Faith Family Church. Now these people have sold a real protective life custody case where I'm supposed to be in police custody, protected custody to people. Okay? I go into Faith Family Church. There's 3,000 of us. Okay? He comes in and he screams, "I had a russet horn." He's pointing right at me. The young usher with black hair and glasses got in his face. "What you did was considered rape. You leave her alone." And they're staring at me and him. And he starts yelling about Dave and everything. And I sit down crying like crazy. I also worked at Berry Cheese between July and September 19. And 4 women in the main room right after that. 2 turned around. He said, "If you open your mouth again, he'll do it to you again." I was warned to stay quiet or else. I take bladder spasm for that. I got to thinking, and I thought about this before. What if that Asian lady was an actor and an extortionist? Because why would you say something to a victim hiding on the floor paralyzed with fear and that had just been abducted and chipped? And the officers are bragging they stayed out of it for the judge's daughter and other people. And within a week of the gunshot night, there's like 40 men around the fruit counter of Walmart 62 and the registers arguing how they're leaving me in high danger. And they stayed out of the gunshot night. Just like they did after I almost got shot in the head driving. And I slam, tuck, and swerve, how they had to leave me in high danger. All those people knew of the gunshot night and stayed out of it. Whose fault is the gunshot night? It's Dave's. It's the shooters. And it's the undercover police and those other men that were supposed to protect me. I was supposed to be in protected custody. So where that guy ratted Will out that he left me on his desk and did little with it, he turned it over to the police, put me in protective custody, and listed me informant. No one was ever to talk to me. He didn't bother with anything. That's why they got away with it. But I think that Asian lady is an extortionist, because why wouldn't you go after Dave? Why wouldn't you go after the undercover police? You would. You don't go after a victim hiding on the floor that they're breaking and stabbing with needles almost on a regular basis at night. And one had been stabbed in the neck out of the refrigerator, 12/21/18. Been abducted, and I got a big dent in the back of my skull. There's a video of them doing it. Real threat to life investigation. Supposed to be in protected custody. Like Reinhardt said, until you actually talked to Will and gave your statement, had to have Miranda rights, had to get witnesses of threat of my life. No one can watch you at your home. And then within a week later, they showed up at Walmart, some heavy-set white guy. We stayed out, I asked Dave about those people threatening her, and he better not put his hands on her till I find out what's going on. Until he's talked to Dave, no one's allowed to watch you in your home. So 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendment, because it erases the Constitution away, because you have to go into protected custody. You have to have Miranda rights, you have to have threat on your life with witnesses of it, for them to even put you in protected custody. And then they have to talk to the other person living there of knowing that threats. Otherwise, it's illegal surveillance, it's entrapment. Now, I'm telling you, what was it, 12/16, 12/18 of 18, I went down and met Darlene from Hyatt, Bob Evans. Okay, there's a bald guy with a long red beard, scooped down in a chair. Sat behind me. I'm Karen Sandler. These are my men, Easy Boys, and they're waving at me. There's a crazy blonde lady with glasses. I'm a psychiatrist. She needs one. They're actors. They're actors. They were part of the people hurting me. The one white-haired guy showed up later and said that he left his comb where my hair was straight up after I got abducted, 12/21/18, stabbed in the neck of the refrigerator. They found another man's comb on the dresser, and he was accusing me of having an affair, and I didn't know what happened. And I was too dizzy to stand up. Okay, he was also in the restaurant when those men bullied me to give all my jewelry back after they put Dave had put a hit on my daughter-in-law and granddaughter's life. Okay? To give your jewelry back, I said, give it all back. Wendy's and Maslin. Okay? 18,000 in jewelry. Okay? So, and then he was one of the ones in Wendy's again. No. Grab her straw, we'll build a case without her. We don't get it this time, we'll get it next time. You can have the damn straw. Throw it in the trash, just chain it anyways, but I licked it all over. Okay. You know, it's something. It's on Thanksgiving 18. My ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa, trying to help him get away with all this, had her kids make up lies. Okay? On a real threat to life investigation. I'm supposed to be in protected custody. All the police can pull it, because he turned it over to the police. Okay? They got caught stating for the house wasn't meant for Grandma, it was meant for Auntie Shell and Papa, and Grandma needs to get out. Michelle, George Pizza daughter. Okay? They also got stating later that they made everything up. It was a game of pretend to Floor, and that they were lying all that sick shit. All the police know they lied. Okay? It's an extortion ring. Drugs, kidnapping, illegal surgery. No, those people did that. Now, the men on the other side of the duplex, I don't know who, they were actors too. I forgot to tell Will a lot of stuff. They had a copy of my phone and would mock me when I walked by. and they say stuff. Now, I kept notes in my phone, and I put ABCD, bank, date of things that were happening. And it looked like a big bunch of jibber jabber, but it's a crossword puzzle. I'd be out walking, and they looked at me and said something. They knew what was in my phone. They had a copy of my phone. But they weren't smart enough to do that crossword puzzle in my notes. Okay? Like I said, I think even though they burned everything, do you realize if it was an illusion of a murder? And my neighbor just tried to grab me because Dave's outside with shooters saying they're going to kill me. The next morning I run from them. And then they burned everything, so it looks like illusion of they killed everybody. Do you realize how sick that is? And how sick it'd be if that Asian lady's husband didn't die and I got tortured? I thought of that. Some guy up there said, I want to know how they did that gunshot night. They have sound effects in the house to make it explode like that? Think of that. It's just an extortion ring. I thought about that. Because some lady I got home said she didn't call 911 and the gunshot night. I got to figure it out. She won't get no money. That's bullshit. Whose fault is it they stayed out of it? Undercover police? They stayed out of it. And those other 40 men around the fruits and vegetable stand and the white guy with gray hair mustache. We had all those men watching me. And they didn't show up. And the police were in the area, the sirens in the distance. And my voice echoes from their car. Okay? They could hear Dave, how they killed people. They didn't bother coming to arrest him. Why? They're either part of it, and they let those people die, or it was a mean stunt. And they just hired all these freaking actors in an extortion ring. Now, it's not funny they broke in and stabbed me with needles on a daily basis and lied they had sodium pentothal reports in Walmart. You can pull Walmart's data between 10 of 18 to June of 19. You'll get Michelle's mother, Georgia Pete's wife, Memorial Day weekend 2019. And then 12/21/18, I'm abducted and chipped. They admit they chipped me. All within 2 weeks by the TVs on Walmart 62. Okay? Then you'll have the stalkers chased off. You have the officers breaking. They stay out of the shooting night. You'll have the gunshot night, how they stayed out of it. I almost got shot in the head driving, leaving me in high danger. And then other people pretending they're handlers in there. I didn't have a handler. Will didn't say, Karen, I got you a handler. His name is this. You got a contact. I'm going to be checking on you. He didn't do anything. The guy said he left me on his desk. He should have gave a damn. Hell was breaking loose up there. I couldn't even go for a walk without a gun in my pocket. I mean, I was so unsafe up there. It was ridiculous. It was like being in a war zone. One time I didn't put a gun in my pocket and a gold car with black windows did a U-turn, pulled in front of me, and a medium blue truck come racing towards me and he took off. Okay? Now, I'm going to upload this, but those people are still not only driving by, but hiding in the dark outside my new client's house, yelling stuff and saying stuff to the neighbors. They do leave threats and they do them. They're not to be played with. They actually took a real threat to life case, supposed to be in protected custody. They sold it. They talk about it in Walmart. The agents are selling the login for money. It's going for $25 a pop. Faith Family Church has it. St. Mary's. Lady from domestic violence had it out in a warrant at Dr. Rebecca's office, Youngstown gas station by Pennsylvania. Well, knows that chip needs to come out. Sheets gas station in Hartville. They found the tape of the rape. Let's see, Macedonia Fire Department. People in Ohio Catholic had, Ohio Catholic Bank had it. People in Twinsburg had it. Streetsboro truck drivers had it. Construction workers have it. Teenagers, old ladies. People in Canton have yelled out, we taped the whole case. They're not allowed to even give your name, your information, or any part of the case. All the people have all this for personal enjoyment. Yeah, someone needs to help me. They blame the FBI for the chip. March 13th, 21 at Altman Hospital, 2:53 p.m. I go in there paying people off. You'll give me how much for a summit? You give me how much? I go in and get registered. I sit down where they walked around Walmart. The case is called Karen Swill from the agency. Well, the lady comes in and said, well, I'm here for Karen Swill. The agency chipped her. The nurse behind the stand points over at me. Is that why she's here? A bitch gets in my face. The agency wanted the truth out of you. That's why they chipped you. I'm like, shut up. I go in the back and I tell Dr. Alan Antinas I may have a chip. He has to leave the room. There's a man, some dead bastard, neurochipped her. He's like, we already know. There's a CT of it at Mercy Medical. You see, they got the wires to crack. I have a dent in my skull, the size of an egg. Okay, I was out for 6 hours. And someone needs to do something about this. None of this is funny. It's on ungodly levels of extortion, racketeering, murder, possibly attempted murder, rape, torture, drugs, and framing. I'll tell you what, the FBI cared about Amish men's beards. This is a lot worse. A lot worse. But yeah, I had thought about that gunshot night just being, like the guy said, it was a mean stunt. Give the illusion of a mass murder. But if they did kill those people, they do need to take care of it and settle with their families. Make the courthouse settle with their families, and they need to make them settle with me. There's a law called, and it's a federal law. You don't even have to sue them. It's called Justice for Victims of Torture and Terrorism Act. They have to make it right with the victims. If any officer, agent, anybody with any kind of legal anything, they have to make it right with them. And only them. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, whose fault is it they didn't show up at the gunshot night? The cops didn't break, they stayed out of it. And the men that were watching me, like I said, they did Walmart 62 tape and audio. They have the best tape and audio, and like the guy said at Walmart last week, we still have them. And talk to the police in Walmart. That is the one that our ex tried to have murdered. Even Wood Forest knows about it. We go to Taco Bell in Canton. We all know what happened to Karen. They sold belonging to teenagers, old ladies, and everything. I told you, I think a lot of this has just been actors they hired. And to give illusions of the different things, but they did have direct attempts on my life. I really was drugged. You watch those cops break in and stab me with needle. I really was abducted at 12/21/18. I really was raped between July and September 19. And they put all this horror on the internet and made money at mine and others' expenses. I need help, and I need someone to take care of